trapped by the mirror lake vortex, it was difficult for the puppet to move. Xianxia covered the heavens and accurately shot the puppet's body, and a loud noise came out. Xianxia hurriedly took 2 steps back and did not shoot again. For him, it is now mainly about dealing with puppets. Before finding the spirit that drives the puppets, any attack is meaningless. Kai and Du Cece obviously have already grasped Xianxia's intentions, and took advantage of the situation to strengthen the power of their own formation. More vortexes suddenly appeared in the mirror lake, and the ray of light is becoming more dense. Restricted by the 2 major formations, the puppet could not get up for a while, and the red light in its eyes kept blinking. Xianxia's expression was indifferent, staring at the puppet's movements, and silently feeling the dynamics of the side of the item spirit. At the same time, he divided a spiritual mind and kept checking on the puppet. When he think about it, since there is a ray of spirit hidden inside the puppet, there must be some anomalies, which can only be discovered by relying on the spiritual mind. Just as he was investigating, the change came back, and the whole lake suddenly became turbulent. The puppet saw that it couldn't get up immediately. It waved the dark giant stick in rage and smashed it aimlessly around. Such an attack did little harm to Xianxia, but Kai saw this, and his face changed greatly. There is a reason for it. Before, in order to ensure the maximum power of the formation, the range of the array equipment he scattered was not large. If the puppets were to hit it like this, once one of them is damaged, the entire formation will collapse. Not only that, but the fierce attack and the huge force that has been waved also slightly affected the formation. If left unattended, the formation might not be usable for a long time. In an anxious situation, Kai can only slow down some of the puppet's aimless attack to ensure the operation of the large formation array. The situation of Du Cece is the same. As a last result, it is necessary to weaken the power of the painting earth prison formation. They have never encountered such a thing, and they are greatly depressed. The firefly-like ray of light on the sky and the whirlpools in the mirror lake immediately diminished, lacking some restraint, and the puppet really no longer waved the giant stick indiscriminately, and climbed up with its hands and feet. When it stood up, it stared at Xianxia, then stared at the mirror lake again, revealing a thoughtful expression. Immediately, its mouth opened wide. With a buzzing sound, a wasp-like thing spit out of the mouth. Those things were only the size of a fist, but the number was as many as hundreds, and they gathered together into a ball. After hovering in the air for a while, they immediately pounced on Xianxia. Xianxia narrowed his eyes, revealing a surprised expression. For the first time, he knew that this puppet actually has such a weird ability. When he was testing its ability before, the other party did not release these wasps at all. When spiritual mind swept away, Xianxia's face sank, because he found out that these wasps were all small puppets, and each exuded a strange aura. Naturally, he couldn't get these wasps close to him. The demon flame rolled in his hand, a black sword had already appeared, and when he waved, the sword slashed. Boom! An unexpected scene appeared. These wasps seemed to have extraordinary powers. They burst apart at the moment his attack touched its body, as if they could not withstand a blow, but Xianxia's brows were wrinkled even more. Because these wasps burst, not because of his attack, but because they exploded themselves. Every wasp's self-explosion is full of heart-wrenching energy fluctuations. Not only that, but after those wasps exploded, there was a massive yellow haze in the air. These hazes were connected into a piece which soon enveloped the whole space. Xianxia accidentally took a breath, and suddenly felt dizzy, and quickly screamed under the shock poison, "Hold your breath." During the speech, a dark demon flame ball appeared in his hand, and he smashed the yellow mist. Wherever the demon flame passed, the yellow mist was swept away. Although the yellow mist was violent, it could not resist the burning power of the demon flame. Kai and Du Cece were relieved. They heard Xianxia's call just now, and both of them were worried. They were afraid that something might have changed. Seeing that the yellow fog being burned, they was naturally delighted. Xianxia didn't have the slightest relaxation, slashing it out with his sword, chopping up all the wasps like puppets, and then burning the mist with the demon flame. Since this puppet can have such a means, there must be other stronger means. Xianxia has been secretly anxious. Hundreds of wasp puppets were killed and wiped out in a short while. At this moment, Xianxia's complexion changed slightly, and he immediately showed a look of surprise because a message came from the Firebird's item spirit. It found the hideout of the spirit driving the puppet into action. Similar to what he expected, the position of the puppet's chest is strange because all movements of the puppet are driven by this wisp of soul, so under the constant investigation of the item spirit, he finally found a trace of clues. There was a hint of sorrow in Xianxia's eyes, and his spiritual mind was moved. The item spirit that had been wrapped in the puppet reverted to the form of a firebird. Flying over the puppet's head, continuously sprayed fireballs to attack the puppet and attract its attention. And Xianxia himself stared at the puppet's chest, taking advantage of its interaction with the item spirit. When distracted, his figure rushed to the puppet, jumped high and punched fiercely towards its chest. With a bang, Xianxia was bounced back with a huge force, and the puppet's chest was unharmed, and not even leaving a single mark. This punch was just a test, and no effect appeared. Xianxia was not surprised. He narrowed his eyes and sighed. Two people drive the power of the formation to the maximum. Whether it is a success or failure, it depends on this time. After hearing this, Kai and Du Sisi no longer hesitated, and urged Saint Yuan to open the Lake Mirror Clay Dragon formation and the Painting Earth Prison formation. In an instant, the ray of light appeared again, and whirlpools of all size appeared on the surface of the Mirror Lake. A mud dragon rushed out of the Mirror Lake, flew to the puppet, wrapped around its limbs, and restrained its action. With the attack of the Firebird, the puppet fell into disadvantage immediately, but the black giant stick in its hand was waved aimlessly again. But this time, Kai and Du Sisi did not care about it, and still did not relax the power of formation. Xianxia saw that the speed of the puppet was greatly reduced, and his face was rejoicing. He waved the demon flame longsword in his hand, slashed with his sword towards the center of the puppet chest. The fire was splattering, the sword glow disappeared, and the puppet's chest remained unchanged. Kai and Du Sisi witnessed this scene, and their heart could not help but sink. Although the two can use the power of the formation to limit the puppet's actions, if Xianxia can't break the puppet's defense, it will be a failure. Today's situation has been too much for them to consider, and can only put all their hopes on Xianxia, secretly praying that he would have another means of attack. To their disappointment, Xianxia actually made another black sword-like attack and cut to the puppet's chest. At the next moment, both were startled because the sword-like attack actually left a shallow mark on the puppet's body. Although the mark was small, it was the first real injury to the puppet after the three teamed up. This naturally made Kai and Du Sisi overjoyed, and when they looked at Xianxia, they couldn't help but show admiration. The puppet's body is strong. Even if they didn't try it by themselves, they also noticed from Xianxia an item spirit previous attacks. Even if the void return stage came, it might not be possible to cause damage to it, but now Xianxia did it. This means that he has the opportunity to destroy the puppet's body and destroy the wisp of spirit hidden in it. Excited, as if seeing the dawn before sunrise, full of expectations for Xianxia. Xianxia looked at that tiny mark, and his face was pale. The previous attack he used the Space's blade condensed by space force. It looks similar to the sword glow, but it is very different. The Space's blade can be said to be Xianxia's trump card. It can devour everything and is unpredictable, but still only causes this degree of damage to the puppet. If you want to completely break its chest, at least 100 of Space's blade used to attack on the same point of its chest is needed before having the chance to break its chest completely. Can Kai and Du Sisi limit its movement for so long? It's not that Xianxia didn't have confidence in the two. It's just that the puppet was too difficult to entangle. The giant stick is waving aimlessly, which not only make it difficult for him to reach, but even the two big formations were stirred up. If it was too long, the formation will be broken. And he couldn't accurately hit the puppet in the same position all the time. Now that he has considered this, it is useless to think more, and he can't worry too much anymore. The Space's blade is rushing out and attacking the mark left by him previously. Silently, unlike the sword glow, the Space's blade hits without any sound at all. With the passage of time, the scars on the puppet's chest have gradually become larger, but correspondingly Kai and Du Sisi are pale and trembling, and they are driving the power of the formation. It can be considered to have exhausted all their strength, and even took a lot of recovery medicine pills, but Saint Yuan still had a hard time making ends meet. What is even more anxious is that after the puppets struggle and attack for so long, the stability of the two large formations is also greatly affected and becomes precarious. Whether it is the vortex and muddy mud dragon produced by the Lake Mirror Clay Dragon formation or the painting Earth Prison formation firefly-like rays of light, all suddenly diminished. As a result, the puppet's restrictions were weakened a lot, and Xianxia's attack often failed to make an accurate hit, which made him annoyed. Compared with the anxiety and helplessness of the three people, the puppet is imposing. When the dark giant sticks wings, even the firebird can't get closer, and can only wander around, and the attack of the pure fire spirit force gathers, attracting its attention. To be continued.